Welcome to another Retro Core, and today we're going to be taking a look at this. This is the Easy Flash Omega Flash Cartridge for the Game Boy Advance. Now, full disclosure, this was sent to me for review, but don't worry, as regular viewers of this channel know, doesn't matter if I'm sent something for review or if I bought it, whatever it is, it gets a fair review. So if it's rubbish, I'm going to say it's rubbish. If it's good, I'm going to say it's good. So let's dig into this flash cartridge and see what secrets it holds, because it does more than just play your Game Boy Advance games. Let's check it out. So upon switching on the machine, you can see we're greeted with a menu. Now I'm actually using this on a Nintendo DS, since I don't have a Game Boy Advance handy, so it's nice to know that it does work on the Nintendo DS as well. Now, using the L and R triggers on the DS, you can skip to certain menus. Now in here, you've got all sorts of different options which you can choose from the different types of save states, cheat menu options. You can patch games, you can choose the language, you can choose different menu resets, such as here we've got L and R and select, which will put the machine to sleep. And if we want to go back to the menu, we can press L, R and start. You can change them to your heart's desire. And you can also turn off the RTC, which will save battery power. Very handy indeed. Okay, so to load the game, it's very simple. You just go into the menu, select the game you want, press the A button, and you get another menu. Now you can do a clean boot, which will boot the game as it was playing on a standard Game Boy Advance. You can boot it with add-ons, which means you can boot it with cheats. And we also have different types of save options. So you can do SRAM save, EEPROM save, flash save. But it's best just to keep it on normal. Basically, whatever save option your game uses, this device will be able to save it. And as you can see, that loaded pretty quickly, didn't it? You don't really have to wait that long for the games to start up. And since this is running from flash memory, it's identical to playing the real game on real hardware. So you don't have to worry about, strange emulation issues or anything like that. Okay, so to get back to the menu, since we did clean boot, the best way to do it is just reset the system, like that. So here we are in the option menu, and I'm going to put save states on, and I'm going to put the sleep on as well. And let's also put the reset on. In fact, let's put the cheat on as well. And we'll just go to OK, so all those are set. Now to sleep the game, we can just press LR and select. And to get the menu up, we just press LR and start. Okay, so all that's done. So let's load up another game. And this time we're going to boot with add-on. That way we can access all the features. Now this takes a little longer to boot because it now has to write the entire game to the flash memory. But not too long, as you can see there. Okay, so we can start the game as normal. Okay, so here we are in the game. So I'm just going to save state it now by pressing LR and start to bring up the menu. Okay, and then we're going to choose save. And that has saved the position in the game. Now if we just continue with the game a little bit. Okay, Dracula is now on screen. So let's press LR and start again to bring back up the menu. Press load. And there you go, it's gone back to the save state. So, as you can see, save states work perfectly fine on this thing. And if you're playing a game which uses battery backup, no problem. You can just use that as well to, save as normal. Okay, let's reset. Back to the menu. Now, all your cheats for your games can be stored in here. This is where you put all your cheats for your games, which you can download from the website. Link is in the description. You could also put all the images in here as well. Now these images should go into the directory with the game. And when they do, you will be able to see the actual game image on the side of the screen. Let's see if I can get that option up. See here, it should have the game image, but unfortunately I haven't configured it right. But once you've configured it, the game image will come up there. So that's pretty cool. Another really nice feature is if you just switch on the machine and you want to go back to the game you were playing or the game you recently played, just press the start button and it lists all the games in the order in which they were last played. So let's put a bit of Kiki Kai Kai Advance on. Let's do a clean boot with that. In fact, let's see if we've got any cheats. Yes, we have. Infinite lives, infinite lightning, and weapon upgrades. Thank you very much. We'll have all of those. Okay, so press B to go out. As you can see, it's listed as 3 cheats. So we'll press OK. And that will now load the game with the cheats. Again, because we're using add-ons, we got to load the game into flash memory, which takes a little bit of time to actually load in, but not too long. Okay, there's my life at the bottom of the screen. Let's see if I have infinite lives. Maybe not. Well, so much for that cheat. That cheat didn't work at all, did it? Maybe they're for the American version of the game. Who knows? Certainly not for the Japanese version of the game. Oh well, that wasn't such a good demonstration, was it? Okay, let's reset. Oh, that's why. What an idiot I am. I gotta switch the cheats on. Ah, nice. Cheats on. There we go. 9 lives. Okay, the cheats do work. You gotta switch them on. Alright, in fact, I've just killed everything on screen. There we go. Here's some baddies. Come and get me, guys. Will I still have 9 lives? Yes, I do. Okay, lovely. The cheats are working. Okay, let's go back to that main menu. And reset. So, you may have noticed that this has a couple of other directories on here. And this is where this flash cartridge really shines. It's the party piece. We've got Game Boy here, Game Boy Color, and NES. So let's see if we can play Game Boy games on the flash cartridge. We've got Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge here. Let's start it up. And yes, it works. Now, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that this is actually running on the DS hardware, because it's not. This is actually emulated. So what the flash card is doing is running Game Boy original games on it through emulation. As you can see, this seems to be working really well. Although the screen size is a little bit small. But wait, we've got more party tricks. Let's see, if we press LR, we can get some options up here. So we've got auto fire options, display options. So here you can see we've got loads of preset colors for the backgrounds, based upon various Game Boy Color games. Wow, look at that one, Space Invaders, that is freaky. And here we've got the Super Game Boy Color palettes as well. So that is really cool. You can turn regular black and white games into, color. Got classic pea green there. I think I'll go with Donkey Kong Land. That seems to look pretty good. Or Castlevania Adventure. Okay. And here we've got the gamma, so you can turn up the brightness. You can see, especially up here in the background, you can see a difference there in how clear the buildings become. Okay. We've got other settings, such as a frame skip, a frames per second meter. We'll switch that on. We've got auto sleep, we've got some VSync, swap the MB buttons around for those games that don't have them the right way. Game Boy, we can pretend it's on a Game Boy Color or Super Game Boy. We've got some other options there. Identify as a Game Boy Advance. Loads of different options. Speed hacks, save states, manage your SRAM, and so on. Let's try another Game Boy game. Let's try Mega Man 5. As you can see, this one has come up as a Super Game Boy title because we now have the border. Very nice. Oh yeah, I should be reviewing this, shouldn't I? I've just got carried away playing this. Okay, so yeah, there you go. That's Game Boy running on the Nintendo DS via emulation on the flash card. What about Game Boy Color? Will those work? Well, let's check it out with Shantae. Shantae is a classic. Yes, it does. Now the problem with Shantae is the beginning of it takes forever to get, to get started. But not to worry because I've got some save states. Let's load the save state that I played the other day. Oh, where's my save? No, not save. Load. Load the save state, please. Oh, don't tell me I deleted the save state. I'm an idiot. I've deleted the save state. Oh well. But that's not to worry because as you can see, I can load up my battery backup save. So much for bothering with a save state. My battery backup save is still there. And you can save multiple games on this device, not just one or two. Now, I know what you're wondering, will it play Nintendo DS games off the Flash cartridge? Well, unfortunately not. It will not play Nintendo DS games at all, even though I'm using this on a Nintendo DS. But it will play NES or Famicom games. Let's load up G.I. Joe. Again, this is emulation, running from the Flash cartridge. Now, unlike the Game Boy stuff, the NES stuff does run at a pretty good screen resolution. So that's nice, it's not stuck to a little box in the middle of the screen. Now, I'm finding the buttons a bit weird here. They're not in the right settings for me. So, I'm going to go to other settings and swap A and B around. That should make it a lot easier. Let's put this frames per second meter on as well so we can see how many frames per second this is running. Okay. So as we can see, it's running at 60 frames per second, which is correct. That's better. Now the buttons have been reversed. So A is B and B is A. And those frames per second are not falling at all. They're staying quite constant. Let's try a different game. Now it's got a bit of corruption there, but don't worry, that's not the machine. That is actually down to the ROM which I'm using. It was like that on the PC as well. As you can see up in the top left hand corner, those frames per second are staying at 60. So that's doing a lot better than my game playing skills. But to be fair, I am looking at this on an angle. And of course we can do save state, so let's just save that. Save it as new. All the save states are actually saved to the memory card, by the way. The memory card being the SD card, I should point out. Okay, let's load that save state, see if it worked. Yeah, that is load. Yes, it has. Okay, let's go back to the Game Boy Color and try R-Type DX. And let's put the frame counter on that, see how that does. Okay, we've got quite a few versions here. We've got R-Type for Game Boy Color, R-Type 2 Game Boy Color, the original versions of R-Type, R-Type DX. Let's go R-Type 2 for Game Boy Color. As you can see, those frames per second are staying pretty high. It dropped to 59 just then. But that's not really a problem. Excellent stuff, not an issue. Now I'm getting a bit tired holding down the fire button here, so let's see if we've got auto fire. Whoops. Let's switch on that auto fire. Oh yes. Oh, look at that. The only problem with this is I can't use my charge beam. Not that you need it with this much auto fire. You can see the frames dropping there. It's dropped down to 51, 52 frames per second. But the question I gotta ask is, does it do that on a real Game Boy Color? Maybe, I'm not sure. Now the best thing is, with these Game Boy and Game Boy Color and NES games being emulation, the firmware can be updated to improve the emulation in the future. And who knows, they might even be able to add other machines to this card. Just imagine you could be playing Sega Mega Drive games on your Nintendo DS from a Game Boy Advance Flash Cartridge. Or even better still, you could be playing Mega Drive games on your Game Boy Advance. How about that for cool? So there we have it, the Easy Flash Omega Flash card for the Game Boy Advance that also runs on a Nintendo DS. And of course it runs on the regular Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy Advance SP. And, most likely, although I can't check it, the Game Boy Advance player for the Nintendo GameCube. But don't quote me on that, I've never checked it myself, since I don't own a GameCube or a Game Boy Advance player for the machine. So, what do I think of this little flash card? Well, in all honesty, even if I bought this, I'd still say it was excellent. It does everything you need it to do. It will save your battery backup games. It will let you do save states. It plays every single, Game Boy Advance game I threw at it. It's played pretty much all the Game Boy Advance special cartridges, although some features, such as ones that require tilt and so on, don't work properly. As for Game Boy and Game Boy Color and NES emulation on this, well, I did notice a bit of slowdown on some of the Game Boy Color games and some of the regular Game Boy games as well. But for the majority of them, they work really, really good on this thing. As for NES emulation, I didn't notice any slowdown at all on that. So that's good news if you want to play your NES on the go. And don't forget, those emulators could be updated in future firmware. So who knows, it could be perfect, on the next firmware update. But yes, as far as flash cartridges go, this packs in a lot. And I'm actually very happy for being sent this, and this is going to be added to my collection of flash cartridges. So yeah, I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to keep this one. This is a great one. Thumbs up from me here at the RetroCore channel, and I'm going to put a link in the description below so you can buy one of these from the company's eBay store. Check it out.